Just 6 months ago, DAC began the process of demolishing 661 units here at the Frederick Douglass Home site. The demolition project was made possible through the award of a $6.5 million emergency capital fund grant from HUD. What we will witness in moments is the beginning of the end of Phase 2, demolition of the remaining 4 high-rise structures, which total 421 units. The above-ground leveling of all 4 buildings is expected to be complete in approximately 8 weeks and will dramatically improve the view of the city's downtown skyline. Once the demolition of Douglass site is complete, DAC will be eligible for additional funding, which will assist with furthering affordable housing opportunities in the city. We look forward to moving forward in partnership with the city to determine the best use for the site in order to promote economic development and affordable housing opportunities for the residents of Detroit. The demolition of high-rises marks the end of a memorable piece of Detroit's history. Douglass was once one of DAC's largest public housing communities, home to Motown stars, but also homes to committed men and women who in the late 90s helped me personally understand the value of community. DAC is grateful to those families, some of which are here today and continue to live in various DAC communities. DAC's core mission is to provide affordable housing opportunities for low-income families. We are also committed to improving the quality of life for our residents, and we are doing this by providing economic opportunities and job creation. The Douglass Project is a reflection of our commitment. We are pleased with the Section 3 commitment efforts on this project. Section 3 is a HUD-required program that provides the gateway to economic opportunities and job creation through contracting opportunities. For example, our residents participate in architectural training programs provided by Hamilton Anderson Associates, the architect of record for this project. Ms. Deja Berg, who is one of our residents, is participating in this program, and you will hear more about her wonderful accomplishments here soon. There's also job creation through hiring Section 3 employees. One of those employees is Mr. Kirks, who also works on this project with Humrich Construction. We are pleased with the subcontracting efforts to a Section 3 business concern by our environmental firm, Dover Environmental. They subcontracted some of their work to DMC Consultants. Lastly, I want to thank our partners whose invaluable contributions have made this project possible. Special thanks to Mr. Steven Schneller, who serves as DAC's board chairman and recovery administrator for HUD, Gina Matrakis, advisor in the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Public and Indian Housing at HUD and part of the White House team here in Detroit, Lindsay Reams, the acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Office of Field Operations and the Office of Public and Indian Housing at HUD, and Willie Garrett, Director of the Office of Public Housing, Detroit Field Office. Each of them has shown their commitment to the Douglass Project. Also, I'd like to thank the DAC Advisory Board. We could not accomplish what we have without my DAC team. Their commitment and hard work in planning and implementation has been outstanding. Thank you to Bob Hunt, Jason Barrow, Michael Manthram, Jeff Bond, Arthur Walker, and Tamala McClinton, as well as all other DAC staff who have supported this effort. In addition to staff, I extend thanks to the Michigan State Historic Preservation Office, the City of Detroit Environmental Affairs Department, City of Detroit Building and Safety and Engineering, City of Detroit Environmental Department, the Water and Sewer Department, Hamilton and Anderson Associates, ETC Incorporated, Dover Environmental, Professional Abatement Services, Manick Smith Group, and Homrich Wrecking Company. It is because of the dedication and hard work of so many of you here today that we are beginning this final phase of demolition, and with that beginning, a new chapter for DAC and for the City of Detroit. Next to speak is Assistant Secretary Sandra Henriques.
Thank you, Kelly, for that warm introduction and for talking and for having all of us here together. It's wonderful for me to be here for this last final demolition phase at Brewster Douglass. It's an historic day for the city of Detroit. a day that would not be possible were it not for the passion and the commitment of Mayor Bing in the beginning of these efforts by addressing the safety and security issues of Douglas, and of Mayor Duggan, who the people of this great city have chosen to lead its economic and cultural rebirth. Thank you both for allowing me to be part of this day and sharing this moment with you. In addition to the mayor's office, I want to recognize, as Kelly has done, the staff of the DHC, led by talented Kelly Lyons, and the local HUD staff she's mentioned. I don't get to publicly acknowledge how talented and how wonderful they are for their hard work each and every day in service to both housing authorities, Native American communities, and to the people who are served by the programs we offer at HUD. Before I get into what this day represents for me, I want to spend just a few minutes discussing how the demolition of Brewster Douglas is just one step in broader efforts to reinvigorate the city. Strong cities are built on vibrant, resilient neighborhoods, good places to live, run a business, and raise a family, and this requires a healthy local housing market. During the housing crisis, foreclosures decimated entire neighborhoods. In the late 2009, Detroit alone had more than 67,000 foreclosed properties. And that's why HUD invested $7 billion in neighborhood stabilization funds to help cities like Detroit turn foreclosed homes from eyesores into assets. Of the $7 billion awarded through NSP, the City of Detroit was awarded $47 million, much of it for the rehab of both single and multi-family affordable housing and the demolition of blighted and abandoned properties. The Obama administration's commitment to the City of Detroit has never been clearer than when the President selected Don Graves, the Executive Director of the President's Council on Jobs and Competitiveness at the White House, to serve as his federal coordinator for all federal agencies working here in Detroit. Don and his team are literally on the ground every week, working with agencies across federal lines and with local partners to not simply see the problems, but find innovative and collaborative ways to solve them. Through the NSP program and other initiatives designed to rebuild communities like this one, HUD and the Obama administration have worked in groundbreaking ways across federal agencies, employing innovative tools like choice neighborhoods, promise neighborhoods, strong cities, strong communities, and most recently promise zones to transform distressed neighborhoods. Beginning with the State of the Union address and in nearly every speech given since January, we have listened as the President has discussed what he calls the defining challenge of our generation, the ever-widening opportunity gap, decades-long trends that have resulted in those at the top doing better, and middle class getting squeezed and the poor being left behind. The President has outlined an opportunity agenda that includes retraining our workforce and providing high-quality education for our young people. I want to take just a few minutes to showcase an economic opportunity program of the Detroit Housing Commission that is changing lives, and recognize a young woman here with us today who is a shining example of what can be achieved when big dreams and local agencies and private industry come together. I want to know if Deja Bird is here, because I know she was coming. Deja, please come join me. So this is Deja Bird. She is a 17-year-old senior at Hamtramck High School and resident of Sojourner Truth Homes here with the DHC. She's a member of her school's student council, a member of Women of Tomorrow, mentoring and scholarship programs, and as well as a member of DECA, a national organization that prepares emerging leaders for careers in marketing, in finance, hospitality, and in management. She loves to write and draw and was recently awarded a $500 scholarship for her writing. But there's more about Deja. She learned about an after-school architecture program through the Detroit Housing Commission's Section 3 compliance efforts. Section 3, as you've heard, is a HUD-required program designed to ensure that HUD funds invested in housing and community development activities also provide employment opportunities for low-income people. The 5-week course, taught by architectural firm Hamilton Anderson, was originally held in the Brewster Resident Council room until a partnership was formed with Lawrence Technological University to host those classes in their design studio. Deja signed up for the program at first as I'm told, simply to get her out of the house on Wednesday evenings. I can relate. Then she learned a little about architecture and demonstrated such promise that she was awarded a computer to practice her drafting and presentation skills. She became so interested that she signed up for a second session, which has culminated in Deja being offered admission to Lawrence Technological University to study architecture this fall of 2014. So, congratulations to you, dear heart. It is in hearing stories like this and meeting this incredibly strong and vibrant young woman and other people like her that I feel absolutely blessed to have been able to do this work for the last 40 years. In closing, I know that much of the press coverage today about this event will highlight what Douglas Brewster used to be and its crime-ridden legacy. However, that is not what this day represents for me, or for the department, or for this administration. Today is about hope. Finding hope in transition, finding hope in Deja's story, and remembering Brewster Douglas's rich and celebrated past and the role this demolition will play in helping the city get back on its feet. As the first federally funded low-income housing development for African Americans built in 1933, these homes represented opportunity for thousands of black residents in Detroit, people who worked hard to get their piece of the American dream. Today's demolition isn't about removing an eyesore from the cityscape. It is about rebuilding and revitalizing community for the long term. It's about restoring hope and promise to the city's citizens of Detroit and building ladders of opportunity for working families living in federally assisted housing and for ensuring that young people like Deja have a promising and bright and stellar future in this city. Thank you so much to you and congratulations. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Next to speak is Don Graves, Executive Director of the President's Council on Jobs and Competitiveness at the White House.
Well, thank you, Kelly, and thank you all for being here today on such an historic day. It's an honor to be here with all of the leaders here, with Assistant Secretary Henriques, with former Mayor Dave Bing, who was such a wonderful partner, at least for a few months, as the federal team began its work here, and my new best friend, Mayor Mike Duggan, who has also been such a great partner for us, along with the City Council. I'm here today on behalf of President Obama and the entire administration to let you know that we remain committed to this city. We remain committed to being an active partner in bringing jobs back to the city, in helping to remove blight, in building stronger communities and turning the community's vision of the future into a reality. As the Assistant Secretary said, the President is committed to providing ladders of opportunity so that every American has a fair chance to work hard, better their lives, and lift themselves up into a thriving middle class. The demolition of the Frederick Douglass homes that's been underway for the last few months and the beginning of the last phase that we're here to mark today provides an opportunity for all of the residents of Detroit to build on the history, the vibrant history of this community, and once again make this a zip code that will provide a bright and healthy future for its children and economic opportunities for all of the community. That commitment of the administration and of President Obama in working in the city and working with the mayor and the city council is clear, as my team and I have been here on the ground every week as a partner to the city and residents of Detroit. We've been collaborating with the city, both mayors. We've been partnering with a wide range of stakeholders and working with, as Assistant Secretary Henriques said, working with every agency across the federal government to make sure that we are effective in delivering the type of services, resources, and support that the city needs on a daily basis. We're here to work with all of you and to find ways to complement the tremendous efforts that are already underway and to support the city further as it becomes revitalized and it realizes that wonderful future. Mayor, the President told you this directly. We have a long-term commitment in partnering with you and with local leaders to support everything that you're doing to drive the economy and make this a place that the residents of the Frederick Douglass homes can say was just the beginning of a very bright future. So thank you so much. We look forward to working with you, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you all again, and next to speak is former Mayor Bing.
Thank you very much, Kelly, and this is a wonderful day. I first want to give thanks to our President Obama, because without his support of this city and this particular project, we wouldn't be here today. I want to thank you. I also want to thank the young lady who introduced me, Kelly Lyons. I didn't know Kelly when I first got in the office, and once I had a chance to get to know her and saw what this property looked like over the last several years, I made it my point to ask her, let's get something done. Gina Matrakis. Gina, I know you're here. I want to thank you. I want to thank Don, because without them and the kind of support that we got from their departments representing the White House, once again, we would not be here today to celebrate. Thank them. You know, it's already been said that this is a piece of history, and it's not something that we want to forget about. There are so many incredible people, not just the stars that lived here at one point in time, but so many of the average people who live in the city of Detroit today. They are part of our history, and we want to let them know how much we appreciate them, and we're not going to just displace them. There's going to be a need on an ongoing basis for affordable housing for a large majority of our population here in the city of Detroit. If it were not for HUD and the Department of Transportation and maybe the Department of Education out of the Obama administration, a lot of the good things that you see going on here today in Detroit would not have happened. So I once again want to thank the leadership from the president down to the secretaries of those departments who have been so supportive in helping our city to come back. And I think my administration, we started, I think, some building blocks to make change in our city. And this is one of those building blocks. As this comes down, one of the things that I think I left for Mayor Duggan, if not, I've got a copy of it. One of the proposals that I saw, which really intrigued me, was that there are a lot of people that grew up here, that lived here, that are older at this point in time and are displaced in a lot of different areas across our city. The proposal that I saw said maybe this is a great place once it's cleared out and it's rebuilt, that it could be a senior city village. A lot of the people that lived here at one point in time, or the next generation that may have grown up here, want to come back to this particular area. So we've got to make sure that we give them every opportunity to live their dream. And their dream is to try to come back and be a very critical part in the rebuilding of Detroit. And the person that I think that's critically important for the rebuilding of our city is our mayor, our current mayor, Mayor Mike Duggan. And I'd like to introduce Mike and let him say a few words. Mike, thank you so much.
Well, thank you to Mayor Bing. You're looking a little too relaxed and happy. But the mayor was the one who got the ball rolling here, and it is absolutely appropriate that he be here to witness firsthand the results of those efforts. For Assistant Secretary Henriques to have come in today, thank you so much. Kelly Lyons and Don Graves and Gina Matrakis, who we have adopted here from the Obama administration and are here every single week, have made things so much easier for us. At one time, as you all know, these buildings held families with dreams that were succeeding in this town. There's great history here, just as there is over in Brush Park, right across the street, which at one time was a truly historic neighborhood in the city of Detroit. But those days have passed us by, and we have moved much too slowly from blight to rebirth in this city. And the buildings behind us have been vacant since 2008. They've been subjected to vandals and scrappers, and we needed to take some action. And for many people, these towers have recently become nothing but a symbol of the blight and decay of the city of Detroit. And so today we're going to take a step forward, but as I talk about continually, we are not demolishing for the sake of demolishing. We are demolishing for the purpose of rebuilding. And already Tom Lawanda and our economic development team is in conversations with officials from HUD on how we use this property and the adjoining Brush Park property for new housing and economic opportunities for the residents of the city of Detroit. So this today is a step toward progress. I'm so proud to be able to share it with Mayor Bing. And at this time, I don't know if there's any members of the city council here. Are they still in session? They're still in session today, but I also want to thank my partners on the Detroit City Council who have been completely supportive of what we're doing.
1,
2, 3.